I have the book, Unshakeable, which I can hold up with one hand because I can't use the other arm because I have shoulder surgery. Hi, my name is Father Mike Schmitz, and this is Ascension Presents. So, I have a book. Not just I own a book, like I wrote a book. It's called Unshakeable, Building a Life of Virtue in a World of Chaos. You know, there's an inscription. They always ask, like, hey, would you want to put a dedication to this? So I did. And it's to my mom and dad, who built a life of virtue in a world of chaos. And someone asked me about that. They said, what's some of the best things or some of the greatest things your parents taught you? If they're the ones who, built a life of virtue in a world of chaos, what are some of the greatest things they ever taught you? That's a struggle because they taught me so many things. I'm gonna share two. I wanna share the thing about my mom and the other things about my mom too. And then my dad had this rigorous honesty thing, but also there's faith. And so I'm not sure what to, how about three? Three with maybe a little bonus one. My mom, she was a nurse, trained nurse, and worked as a nurse, helped my dad through medical school, and then she became a stay-at-home mom. She would get up before all the rest of us and start making breakfast, and then she packed our lunches and then made our suppers and stuff. And she just so consistently did that. It was one of those situations where I remember identifying my mom's love like with her making food. I didn't realize that not every mom did that. Not every mom, made breakfast for their kids, and I took it for granted a lot. But then, fast forward, when I was ordained and I was invited over to people's houses and they'd say, oh, we're gonna serve such and such a kind of food. In my head, I'd be thinking, I hate that kind of food. And then I'd go there and it would taste so good. And the more and more I had meals at other people's houses, I realized, oh my gosh, my mom's a bad cook. So she cooked all the time for us and she wasn't very good. And then a couple of years ago, a number of years ago now, my sisters, my two older sisters, they were like, oh yeah, mom hates to cook. Wait, what? One, my mom cooked for us all the time. Number two, she wasn't good at it. Number three, she didn't actually even like it. And the fourth thing is, I had no idea. I had no idea, A, that she was bad, because I just, my mom, of course I love your mom's cooking. I had no idea she didn't like doing it. She just did it. And here's one of the most incredible things. Again, this building a life of virtue in a world of chaos is about love. Love, so often, it hit me after she passed away. So often, love is just showing up. Not showing up perfectly, not showing up as the star, not showing up as the expert chef, but to be able to love is a vastly greater talent, skill, ability than to run a marathon or to cook well. And that's what my mom did. I don't care. I don't care that she wasn't a great, there was a lot of food that we're like, oh, this is really good, Mom, we like this. And it wasn't like it was awful, but she loved really, really well. Number two. My dad, he and I had a conversation, and he reminded me of this. I was interacting with some people, when it came to Newman and it came to the diocese, and we're trying to build a Newman Center and a church, and I said, in some of these conversations, I left out this kind of critical detail, and I just had to have a conversation where I included the whole thing, because I thought the detail would be embarrassing. Like that, I thought the people who know more than me would say, Father Mike, why would you ever do that kind of thing? I'm like, I don't know. I just said yes to this person, invited me to do such and such. I thought they would think it was foolish, and so I had just not shared it, because that's how we do. I didn't lie, I just didn't share all the details. And then I did. And then I was like, I have to say all the details. So I said all the details. And I told my dad this story. And he said, oh yeah. I said, we call that rigorous honesty. And I was like, oh. And he said, yeah. He said, so at one point, you can realize you're dancing around the thing that needs to be said. But when it needs to be said, it needs to be said. And so if there's something my dad taught me, my mom taught me, sometimes love is just showing up. My dad taught me rigorous honesty, just to tell the whole truth. If you can tell the whole truth, just tell the whole truth, regardless of if it embarrasses you, regardless of where it leads, just tell the truth, rigorous honesty. Third thing, it has shaped my heart maybe more than any other phrase in my life. In the last year of seminary, I was getting a chalice, right? You get a chalice as a priest. Not always, but sometimes your parents pay for the chalice if they can. And so I had ordered this chalice, and it was being made for me. If you've ever tuned into our live stream masses or online masses, that's the chalice. It's kind of a tall one. And at one point they said, what do you want for the inscription? And I said, well, I don't know. And they said, well, who's paying for the chalice? I said, my parents. And they said, well, call your parents and ask them what they would like inscribed on the base, on the bottom of the chalice underneath it. So okay, great, hung up the phone, called my mom. I said, Mom, what do you think you want inscribed on the underside of the chalice? She thought for a half a second. How about this? Trust in the Lord, love mom and dad. Great, nailed it. That was it. Trust in the Lord, love mom and dad. whenever I receive our Lord Jesus in the Eucharist, his precious blood, I always try to angle the chalice so that when I tip the cup up, whoever's sitting in the front row can see those words. That has defined my life. If anyone says, hey, would you sign something for me? If you ever got this book, Unshakeable, and you say, would you sign it for me? I will say, your name, trust in the Lord, Father Mike. Because, yeah, that's everything. Everything. And those three things. Sometimes love is just showing up, rigorous honesty, and trust in the Lord. I said 3.5 or 3+. And that would just be like, they just set me on a road so I could know Jesus and where I would learn the heart of the Father. Yeah, so those things, they're there. Sometimes love is just showing up, rigorous honesty, trust in the Lord, and they put me on the path. So hopefully I can also do what they did, build a life of virtue in a world of chaos. Anyways, from all of Cedar, Ascension presents, it's a weepy Father Mike. God bless. So, I don't know how do I start? Let's start again. Take 2. Building a life of virtue, building a life of, easy for me to say. You know, it's not too, I mean, it's not like, you could read it in someone asked me, but ask to be, my goodness. Okay.